Hey everyone, this is your girl SolieSims and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're brand new, thank you so much for joining us today. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. This time around we're building a small home in Moonwood Mill, and this is built specifically for a detective widower dad and a daughter, his young daughter. This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house on a 20 by 15 lot in Moonwood Mill. It is about 32,000 simoleons, so it is pretty small and on the cheaper side compared to what I typically build. And this house belongs to Elias Cross and Harper Cross. Elias is a loner, he is good and he is very family oriented, and Harper is a creative child. She loves dreaming and drawing and storytelling, and she is a very chatty, curious person, and she's definitely more outgoing than her dad. She has an adventurous personality, which is awesome. So different from her dad. So this backstory is that Elias was once a city detective with a rising reputation, but he transferred to Moonwood Mill years ago. Well, not too long, like maybe 2 years ago, after one of the cases that he was dealing with went a bit sideways. It left a lot of emotional scars and a few physical ones as well. He doesn't talk about it at all. His wife also passed away not long after the botched case, and that prompted him, now being a single dad, to move, and now he's raising Harper alone in a place that never quite feels like it lets go of its secrets. The locals trust him, but they also whisper about him. He has a wall of cold cases, some going back generations, that he's dealing with in Moonwood Mill. Moonwood's strange history calls to him. It's just like there's a mystery that's just begging to be solved. And he pours himself into his work, solving cases, especially ones involving missing persons or families torn apart. The job is intense, he's often exhausted, but he always makes sure that he has time for Harper, even if it's just a quick story before bed or showing up for the school play in his work clothes, because he's running late. And of course Harper, she's smart, observant, and very imaginative. She thrives in this wilder environment, and she's often found playing detective near the old lumber mill or sketching mysterious creatures that she swears she sees in the woods when she's out exploring. She keeps telling her dad about it. She also collects different types of rocks and leaves coded messages under the floorboards. You guys will see that the house is a little bit run down. It's not quite it's a little bit of a fixer-upper. Let's just say that. And Harper swears that the neighbor's dog is secretly a werewolf. I mean, she just might not be wrong, She misses her mom, but she doesn't talk about it, and that's with Deputy Wiggles, who is her favorite stuffed animal. Now, jumping into the build now, away from the story, we're going to start with having to move from the city into Moonwood Mill. They didn't move with that much money, simply because Harper's mom died and left a huge medical bill, and finances are not great. The dad is still paying that off. He had to sell quite a few of their own furnitures, etc. when they were moving out of the apartment, and it was a pretty good apartment. It was a 2-income household. They were doing pretty good, and they were able to afford a nice space, But with having to move, they sold out a lot of stuff. There was this little cabin that he happened to find in Moonwood Mill that was within his price range, and he was also able to get a lot of secondhand furniture, as well as a few flea market, deals, etc. And a few things back from the old house did come along with them. Of course, some things that he definitely couldn't imagine himself parting ways with. He stays outside lots of times, like in the morning in particular. He likes to hang out with his daughter. They're very close, they have a very close bond, so he likes to sit out there and watch her play outside when he does have the time to do it, I should say. And of course, she has her own play area outside as well. In the pictures, you will see that there is a coffee cup out there. He's also has like little notes where he scribbles down little notes or things that might just pop into his head at the time that he is just around the house and stuff. So there's that. I sat in the kitchen, obviously, as you saw, and the kitchen, it's a bit worn down. I mean, the tiles are not quite clean. There is a bit of leakage. There is a bit of damp spots on the walls and the floors, and the floorboards are not that great, which is why Harper is able to leave notes behind, because there is a loose floorboards and stuff. And the home is not completely neat. I wanted to go with that look, something that shows that it's not completely clean, but it's not exceedingly dirty as well. You can tell that they're very well, Harper is well fed. There are snacks if she wants, there are canned stuff, and there's typically, like, she always has like an afternoon snack, etc. She is only now old enough to be able to stay home some nights, not nights I shouldn't say, after school, at home by herself. But her dad, because he sometimes works late, I believe that he has enrolled her in some type of after school activity, so something that keeps her occupied whilst he is away. On the table, I wanted to put some personalized touches. I did put like the afternoon snack thing for her, but I took that out. I did change that into, I can't remember what else I put there. I think it was toast I ended up putting in there for her instead of the sectional meal. On the table, I put down his badge as well as his keys, like something he just threw her. And Harper is bringing a bit of herself and her mum as well. She found a couple of wildflowers and she just stuck it in a tin and put it on the table, in the middle of the table, not in the middle, more to the back of the table, as a type of decoration. So there's that. The family themselves, they have such a warm bond, and they get along so well. I absolutely love to see how well Elias gets along with his daughter. It's very refreshing, and you can tell how much he loves her as well. So we're moving on to the living room, and the walls here, you can see there's a bit of torn wallpaper and paint and peeling and stuff like that. I believe that some of the artwork is that of Elias and his wife, and then them as a family. And you can see that he likes they like to read. This is a reading household, and probably because to his wife was probably an avid reader as well. So some of the books on the bookshelf that you will be seeing here would be part of that. That's just things that he brought over that he thinks his daughter would really like. She does have her own dedicated reading space, which is just a little bin bag in the corner of the room. She has one of her mom's old blankets. I do change what I'm putting in now as the blanket. You will see towards the end. Oh, I did change it actually. This is the one I kept, sorry. So I did keep this one in, but there was another one that I changed. I think it was probably the one outside, I can't remember. Anyway, so it's changed now, guys. So Elias often sits in here to watch TV with Harper or to think about his case. He does drink a little bit more because, I mean, he does have a lot going on, what with the cases and missing his wife and finances. It's very tough on him right now, which is why he keeps promising his daughter that things will get better. It will. So he does have a drink on the in the next to the chair, as well as a bag of chips. And Harper sometimes sits in the living room to color on the center table while she tells her dad about her day. So they do have like this really nice, relationship going on. I did the bathroom off camera as I typically do. Harper's bedroom is super small. As you can see, it's like really small. It's practically 3 by 3, but I was able to fit in everything that I felt that she would absolutely need for her to play and utilize. And you know how they always have projects, etc. I think there's enough space in the kitchen that she can do it in the kitchen, but I put a completed one in the corner of her bedroom, right next to her desk. Harper does have a few friends that she hangs out with. Not too many, I think, like maybe one or two that she hangs out with a lot. Either she goes over to their house or they sometimes come over to hers. I mean, the families here are not like overly rich or overly bougie, so they don't look down on her, but she's definitely in a poorer part of the neighborhood, and that's completely fine. I mean, you should not be judged by where you live anyway, different circumstances and stuff. So I made her room a little bit more like the cheerful spot in the house. The dad wanted to bring things in for her to make her feel like the spaces has like a bit more personalized, and she can feel more comfortable in there and just feel like it's her space. And I think that was achieved very nicely, and I think he didn't scrimp too much on getting stuff for her. Now we move on to Elias's room. He doesn't have too many things going on in there. He has a trunk of items, probably for his wife, that he wants to give to Harper when she gets a little bit older. But also, this is where he does his work. He works late most nights. I imagine this man doesn't get much sleep, and he's always drinking a cup of coffee. So he has like a dirty cup. He doesn't have time, guys, to go and wash it up each time, etc. So he does have his little coffee cups, etc., littered all over the place and stuff. But yeah, so that's basically his room, and the spaces is done. Of course, I will be sharing this on my coffee page. So if you want to take a look at that, guys, and grab the tray files, you're totally free to do so. I hope you enjoy this video as I surely did making it, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye.